Well, good evening, family. Good evening. I trust that you all are doing fantastic. Come on in. Come on in. Let me make sure that. All right. I think y'all can hear me. You can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. I just want to make sure that my mic was connected. All right. Excuse that brief distraction, but good evening to you all. It's Monday. Come on in. Welcome to Empowerment Monday with yours truly, Prophet C.T. Johnson. We're going to have an empowering time of teaching. We're going to have a time of enlightenment. Tonight definitely is going to be a broadcast that deals with a taboo subject, a sobering subject, a subject that unfortunately the church and Christians alike run away from. But there is an agenda that is being pushed. And yet I should say, or yet should I say, a demonic, damnable agenda that is being pushed and promulgated throughout our society. And many of us are ignorant of what has transpired, what is being pushed to the forefront. Many of us are ignorant of the agenda that the enemy is manifesting and endeavoring to normalize us as it pertains to pedophilia. I want to say this right out the gate again. Good evening, good evening. Share. You know the drill on Facebook, you know the drill on YouTube. So I'm going to forego the preliminaries and continue rather. I've already jumped in, but I'm going to continue building tonight's topic. I need you to share, 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 share. And indeed, you do need share. But I want to say this, that prior to the legalizing or legalization of a thing, the plan, the agenda, before it's legalized, it's normalized. Put that in the chat. Before it's legalized, it's normalized. And that's what this agenda, as it pertains to pedophilia. As you came in, you saw an agenda to normalize pedophilia. Now, I know this might be a touchy subject for some of you, but you need to be informed, enlightened, and educated as it pertains to what is afoot. And really not afoot. It's not coming. It's not on the horizon. It is here. But many of us are in the dark. I came into this information that I'm about to share with you over the weekend, and I was endeavoring to go in another vein as it pertains to our broadcast on tonight, bringing back our guest from last week. But the Lord really stirred me to address this because we need to be informed. We need to be enlightened. And the job of an apostle and prophet is to bring you into that which the enemy has hidden and are endeavoring to keep cloaked. And so we have to pull our heads out of the proverbial sand. We have to come out of the clouds. We have to stop having church and become, as I have always said, a cerebral body, a thinking body, a cognitive body versus a spiritual versus an emotional. All right. We don't have balance. We're either all the way left or we're all the way right. But we need be balanced. We need to be what Christ admonished us to be, and that is what? Wise as serpents. We have somewhat mastered the harmless as doves, but we are yet to master. We are failing in Christ's admonishment to be wise as serpents. So I want to deal with this tonight. Again, share, 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 and share. Now I'm going to share with you some articles that are posted on my website. We have restructured the website, given it a facelift aesthetically, but go to ctjohnson.org, the Study It Out tab. You click on the Study It Out tab. There's a drop box that says articles, and the second that was just added says FYI, for your information. That's where I'm trying to lead you, because the articles that I'm going to read excerpts from and share with you are on my website, where you can download, you can print them out, read them, study them for yourself. So just go to ctjohnson.org. I've done the homework as it pertains to making it accessible to you. You don't have to Google, you don't have to search as I did in preparation for what I'm getting into tonight. ctjohnson.org, click on the Study It Out tab, and there is many items of information to enlighten you as it pertains to what's going on and what's happening in our world and in our society. Now, let's jump into this. Let's jump into this tonight. An agenda to normalize pedophilia, a flag for pedophilias. Just as there is what the LGBT community calls the pride flag, there is a flag that now the pedophile community, and some of you didn't even know that that's a community, the community of pedophiles have designed their own flag to represent their community. And we're going to deal specifically with this emergence, or the emergence of this flag. Now, I want to spend just a few minutes on this. Y'all share this, get this out. But I want to share a few minutes as it pertains to, again, really honing in on the word there, normalize. I really want to just take a few moments and hone in on that. Because remember what I said just a few moments ago at the beginning of the broadcast, legalization begins with normalizing. Normalization. Legalization begins with normalization. Once you have become desensitized to the unnatural, ungodly, horrific, devilish, demonic way of operating, once you have become desensitized to it, and we become desensitized by becoming normalized, we are deceived in thinking that what we are experiencing, what we're seeing is normal, that it's supposed to be. But there is nothing normal about an adult having a physical, romantic, sexual attraction to a child. There's nothing normal about that. There's nothing okay about that. We should not wink at it. We should not just have the mindset, as long as it's not my child, as long as it's not my daughter, my son, then I'm doing what I need to do as a parent. So no, we need to literally arm ourselves by way of educating ourselves. We need to arm ourselves by way of educating ourselves so that when we confront the devil, we're confronting him equipped and prepared. And we're not just ignorantly engaging in a battle that we are ill-equipped for. And that's the issue that God has with his church. In the event we do jump in the fight, we jump in the fight without having prepared ourselves. We have not conditioned our spirit. We have not conditioned our soul. We have not educated our minds. So we don't know what to expect from the enemy. We don't know what to expect from the opponent. We have not studied, not only have we failed in due diligence as it pertains to preparation on our part regarding, again, physical, solical, emotional, spiritual preparation, we have failed as it pertains to educating ourselves, as it pertains to our enemy. We don't know our enemy's weaknesses. We don't know our enemy's strengths. We don't know our enemy's allies. And so we have to, again, pull our heads out of the clouds, extract it out of the proverbial sand, and stop having, I'm trying not to get on a soapbox here because I'm feeling that spirit rising, that spirit of indignation rising up against me, because if I flip through social media one more time and see this post of we had stupid church, we have crazy church, or let's have church, that's the problem. We have been having church. We have been on an emotional high. We have been flipping pews and doing cartwheels and failing as it pertains to educating ourselves in regards to what Satan is up to in this era, in this time, in this dispensation. What methods has he transitioned regarding? Or what methods has he changed? What ways what ways is he now moving in? We're just concerned about the house and all of the superficial stuff that we fail to realize that while we were shouting and hickamasiing and prophesying and receiving prophecies without any instruction on how to walk it out and appropriate it, the devil has come in, infiltrated our school systems. He has infiltrated the school systems by way of desensitizing us, normalizing us to same gender behavior, same gender activity. Our children at an inappropriate age are being taught about their sexuality at an age where children aren't even thinking anything along the lines of sexuality. I was not thinking about my male organ at 5 and 6. I wasn't thinking about a vagina, thinking about a penis. What? Wasn't thinking about, didn't know what a condom was, much less how to pronounce it. Never saw one at 4 and 5. But this is the demonic, damnable agenda from hell, from the abyss, that we as the church are. All right, let me try to pull it back because I'm on the soapbox. Because somebody needs to say something. But then the church is good at speaking up. However, when we speak up, we're not speaking facts. We're not speaking in accordance, or not in accordance, but we're not speaking facts. We're not speaking after we have done homework, after we've done research. We're not speaking intelligently. We're not speaking cerebrally. We're not making sense. And so we're going to get into this. Again, legalization begins with normalization. And this is the agenda of the, I want to say, pedophile community, but there is a specific term that we're going to get into in just a moment. But I want to lay a few scriptural foundations. So y'all just bear with me tonight. Matthew 10:16 says, "Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves." I just shared that with you. I quoted from Matthew 10:16. It's time for us, again, to become cerebral. It's time for us to become a cognitive church, the mind of Christ and the thoughts of God. 2 Corinthians 2:11 says, "Lest Satan should take advantage of us, for we are ignorant of his devices." See, this is how Satan gets the upper hand. This is how he takes an advantage on us, over us. This is how he's been successful. Because one thing about Satan, he is patient. One thing about Satan, he's long-term in his goals. He's long-term in his endeavors. We want quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if it's going to take longer than a week, we don't want to have anything to do with it. But we have failed to be diligent in studying our enemy. Versus studying our enemy, we have befriended him. We have literally developed an alliance. The church has developed an alliance with hell. We have come on here. We have developed an alliance with hell, listening to erroneous doctrines, receiving prophecies that don't align with the prophetic continuum. And now war is at the gates. War is at the gates. It's no longer this is happening. This is a possibility. This may transpire. This is on the horizon. This is afoot. No, war is at the gates. And we still aren't weaponized. We still aren't operating in a militaristic mindset, and we are in war. The smoke is Lord have mercy. Oh Jesus. Let me calm down. The smoke is suffocating. I'm just so geared up that my mouth is lagging behind with my mind. But the smoke is suffocating because it's so thick. Things are so intense and we don't realize it. Satan is not going to get the advantage. He has gotten the advantage of the church. But tonight I've come to awaken us to this reality that there is an agenda to further destroy our children, the future generation. And if the future generations are destroyed, then the future of our country is destroyed. Did y'all catch that? If the future of our generations, or if the future generations are destroyed, then the future of our nation, of our world, of our church will be destroyed. Philippians 2:15, and then I've got to move. That you may become blameless and harmless, children of God, without fault in the midst. Listen, in the midst. We are in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world. Now, when I read that earlier today, and hone in on the B portion, among whom you shine as lights in the world. A light bulb illuminates light, right? A light bulb is also symbolic of intellect, intelligence. And tonight, my assignment is to open the eyes of your understanding. It is to shed light, to expose you to light as it pertains to enlightening your understanding, enlightening you to this reality that the pedophile community is endeavoring to normalize us to their behavior and actions. I'm pausing on purpose because I hope you are sobering up as I'm talking. I hope you are listening intently and understanding the seriousness of the times. Now, three terms I want to address. Now, real quick, stick with me, but real quick, I want to go back to the beginning slide because I don't know if you noticed. Remember, I said a flag for pedophilias. Now, do y'all see the colors there? Just as the LGBT community has their pride flag, and the colors are symbolic therein. Pay attention. I'm going to break down the significance of the colors here in this flag in just a moment, but I wanted to bring it back to your attention so that you could hold it at the forefront of your mind, because these colors aren't for aesthetics. These colors aren't attention grabbers solely. These colors, they have meaning. These colors relay the preferences of the pedophile. Yeah, these colors. And so you mothers, you fathers, you grandmothers, you grandfathers, uncles and aunts, you whom are custodians and stewards of babies, children, adolescents, we have to, again, be informed of what's happening out here in these streets, so to speak, so that we can guard and protect and defend our children. Are y'all following with me? All right. Real quick, let's go through these terms. Crooked, perverse. The two operative words that was in Second Corinthians, not Second Corinthians, but Philippians 2:15. Again, so that you may become blameless and harmless children of God, without fault in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation. See, we are playing around with this untoward, as the Bible says, generation. And we're in the bed with this generation. We're compromised with this generation. We're looking like this generation. When I say generation, I'm talking about not the millennials, so to speak. I'm talking about this age that we're in. But Philippians, again, uses the word crooked and perverse. Let's look at the etymological meaning of these words. Crooked, early 13th century. Listen to this. Bent, curved, in a bent shape, past participle, adjective from crook, in the figurative sense of dishonest, false, treacherous, not straight in conduct. Not straight in conduct. This is a perverse generation, and I'm going to connect. Let me just slow my roll, but I'm going to connect some things here in a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm going to connect some things here in a moment. But understand, this generation is bent in its thinking, bent in its beliefs, bent in its ideology. And again, the agenda of this current administration, whether you all are still in denial about it, you need to be slapped with a wet towel right across your face, slapped right in the mouth, because the church opened the gates. We left the gates unguarded. We came down off our watchtowers. We came down off our watch, and we have allowed this infiltration. And the enemy has legal right, because we relinquished our authority. But we're going to get it back tonight by being informed. Now, perverse, 14th century, wicked, unnatural. Now, why am I taking time to give you these definitions, the etymological meaning? Because as we go in, I only have 2 more slides and I'm done. As we go further into this, you'll have greater understanding of why this is as serious as it is. All right. Perverse, rather unnatural, degenerate, perverse, contrary, directly from Latin perversus, turned away, contrary, askew, figuratively turned away from what is right, wrong, malicious, spiteful, past participle of pervertir, to corrupt. So this administration, this agenda, this age that we're in is a crooked and perverse generation. And the church, we cannot afford to be silent. We cannot afford to say, well, it's not that serious. How dumb can you be? How dumb can you be? Because see, we didn't think there was an issue, or our position is we shouldn't have issue with same gender loving as long as their relationship is consensual. And people often ask those of us, the remnant of Jesus Christ, why are you always harping on homosexuality? Why are you always dealing with the homosexual community and or dealing with the sin of homosexuality? Because the sin of homosexuality, in the words of Bishop Patrick Wooden, homosexuality is the only sin that we have legalized. Oh, come on here. And we're on the verge, lean in, this country, this nation is on the verge of legalizing pedophilia because they are endeavoring to normalize it. And that's Lord, I don't have a slap cloth. Lord, that's exactly how the legalization of homosexuality, lesbianism, same-sex marriage came to be. They normalized us to it, and the church got on the bandwagon. You had quote unquote Christian preachers, leaders, and pastors performing the ceremonies, and we didn't think nothing of it. And I started saying this back in 2005, 2006, when I pastored my first church. I was saying this then, and that is, as it pertains to the homosexual agenda, the LGBT community, that it would not be long after the legalization of same-sex marriage due to the normalization of same-sex behavior. It would not be long before they legalized pedophilia, because we are being fed little by little, accepting, and all of a sudden our guard is coming down because we, due to the normalization, we are deceived in thinking, well, times have changed, eras have changed. Why should we not change with the change? Because God said that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He changes not. And there are certain principles, certain standards that he's established that are non-negotiables, that are foundational, and they don't change. But when the homosexual community began to push their agenda and the church got behind it, and President Obama sanctioned it, the highest authoritative position in our country sanctioned it, the gates were further widened to allow opportunity for now the pedophilia, the pedophilia agenda to come to fruition. Because think about it, their argument, I know y'all don't like this, Their argument is this. Their argument is equivalent to the homosexual community. And that is, we're born this way. Again, I was saying this in 2005, 2006. And if the homosexual is born desiring, if a man is born with an innate desire and attraction to same sex, and the woman, then it has to be true for the man, for the woman, for the pedophile, as it pertains to their attraction, their romantic, sensual desire for an underage child. It has to be the same. And so now, since we have again legalized homosexuality due to having been normalized by it, here comes the agenda of the pedophile community. And you mark my words, especially if we don't switch out this administration. Oh, it's not possible. Okay, you go right on ahead. Remember, there was a time when alcohol was illegal. But the legalization and or the legalizing of alcohol was due to the normalization thereof. I'm going to keep saying it. Legalization is the result of normalization. All right, let me move. Perverted. Pervert rather. Pervert is the root word to perverse. Now, look at this. MAP, known as MAP, this acronym MAP or no MAP, it stands for minor attracted people. That is the term for this community of pedophiles. This is the term for the community of pedophiles. Minor attracted people, also known as non-offensive minor attracted people. So parents, guardians, you need to be informed of what this acronym stands for. And if you see either, they mean the same thing. All right. Now, I'm giving you just a few seconds as I get back into my electronic device to read the meanings of familiarize yourself. If you see this flag, you know this is why you need to search your children's belongings, search in their phones, search the history in their computers and their electronic devices, because this is real. And there are maps, minor attracted people, that are targeting your children. And many of them are not operating incognito. Because what I'm about to share with you by way of these articles, many individuals of the MAP community have already changed their profile pictures to the MAP. They have posted. They are as prideful. They are as unashamed. They are as boastful as the LGBTQ community. Even though, and I'm going to get and deal with this in a minute, even though the LGBT community, many members, if not all, members of the LGBT community, catch this, they are not in agreement with pedophilia. Now, to me, that's oxymoronic. To me, that's hypocritical. But the reason is homosexuality, lesbianism, transgenderism, and all of what LGBT stands for is among consenting, that's the operative word, consenting adults. The relationship is consensual. But pedophilia is not consensual because you're dealing with an adult and a minor. You're dealing with an individual that's not only not of appropriate age to make decisions, but they have not developed mentally, cognitively, to make wise, prudent choices and decisions. That's the LGBT's community argument. And that's not my assumption. I'm telling you what they have said about I'm telling you what they have said. I'm going to read you some things before we end tonight. But here's the issue that God has. Both are sinful. Both are unnatural. Y'all don't want to help me teach this tonight. Both are perverted. Both are crooked. Both mindsets is warped. Doesn't matter if you're two consenting adults. Same sex is anti the will of God, is anti-natural law. It's anti-biology. And so is pedophilia. Now, let me break this down. I think y'all have had significant time to read this. So look at this. The top two stripes are blue to represent nomaps attracted to young boys. The bottom two stripes are pink to represent nomaps attracted to girls. The inner stripe are yellow to represent childhood and general attraction, listen to this, to minors regardless of their gender. Regardless of their gender. That's homosexuality. That's lesbianism. Because you have a male attracted to a boy. You have a female attracted to a girl. So this flag represents the preferences. The middle stripe is white to represent our innocence. Now help me with this. What is Hondo? What is innocent? What is innocent? See, God got the right person talking about this because some of y'all scared calling yourselves apostles and prophets. You are none of the such. None of the such. None of the such, especially not governmental, not thronal. You're not a governmental apostle or thronal apostle or prophet. Lord knows you're not. Because nothing comes out of your mouth other than blessings, double favor, and all that foolishness. Listen. Okay. Let me stay on track. Y'all pray for the prophet. The middle stripe is white to represent our innocence and unwillingness to offend. How is a full-fledged adult having sensual, sexual attraction to a child innocent or non-offensive? Y'all tell me that. Tell me that. Because according to an article that I read, and all of what I'm going to pull from article-wise will be on my website. But let me see, I have it here in my notes real quick. According to the Global Prevention Project, the Global Prevention Project.org, they are an organization that provides resources for those of the no map community. And they say that there's a difference between a pedophile and a sex offender, because a pedophile is simply one that has an attraction to a child, but has not had or made contact, has not had sexual contact, or in other cases, no contact. The sex offender is one that has actually had sexual acts with a minor. And then they also say that there are sex offenders that are not necessarily pedophiles. Y'all do your research. I don't have time to really dig my heels in this like I would want to. But go to, again, the globalpreventionproject.org and educate yourself on what I just shared. But for the sake of time, let me move. I want to, before I get to the last slide, I want to read a few things to you. And I'm reading from fact, F-A-C-T, factcheck.afp.com. Now listen to this. Hold on, let me do this. Let me go back and put up, because I want you all, there we go. Those that are coming in, I want you to know what it is that we're talking about. I just wanted the slide to be up there. Listen to this. I'm going to read some excerpts from this article that brought out the existence of the MAP, Minor Attracted Persons flag. And I'm reading from factcheck.afp.com. It says, the heading says, a flag for pedophiles. It exists, but it is not a push for inclusion in the LGBT community. I already told you that the LGBT community is not in agreement with the MAP flag. All right. Nor, there's another article, if I have time to read some excerpts from it, and it's actually, well, if I have time, I will. If not, it's on my website, that representatives of the LGBT community, they debunked the myth that their community was adding a P to the acronym for pedophile. We know that it's the LGBTQ community. Lesbian, gay, transgender, queer, I may have left out something. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, LGBTQ. Well, there was rumors in 2020, I believe the article says, that the LGBT community was going to add a P for pedophile, that they were bringing in the MAP community, and they denied that. They spoke out against that, and that's in another article I'll share with you in a moment if time permits. But let me hasten. As Pride Month, or rather, let me go back to the heading. A flag for pedophiles. It exists, but it is not a push for inclusion in the LGBT community. As Pride Month 2019 wrapped up, post warnings of a new pride flag resurfaced. Listen to this. Rumors claim that a flag was made to represent pedophiles in order to incorporate them into the LGBT community. Although a flag for minor attracted persons, that's MAP, the acronym MAP. So when I say MAP, I'm referring to the pedophile community. minor attracted persons, or MAPS, has been used by some online users since June 2018. Did y'all hear that? June. This this flag, designed by a member of the MAP community, has been in existence since 2018. How many of you knew that? I didn't know it until yesterday, or rather over the weekend. This came to my front, and then I began to study it. So this lets you know that we again are behind the curve. And this is how Satan has taken advantage successfully of the Christian community, of the church, because we are slow to acquire relevant information. Let me move. But again, this has been used by some online users since June 2018. No Canadian LGBTQ association contacted by AFP, I'm calling it, was aware of the flag being used or of any attempt to normalize pedophilia. Now, this organization, AFP.com, fact check, they're the organization that provided this information. They are stationed in Canada. They are stationed in Canada. Now, listen to this. This sort of warning post began to flourish on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook in June 2018. Okay, so it was plastered all over social media in 2018 and resurfaced in 2019 during Pride Month. However, no evidence, and I'm skipping, I have certain excerpts of the article highlighted. However, no evidence suggests a concerted effort to push for the inclusion of MAPS in the LGBT community, which with the use of the flag. So again, the LGBT community, even in this article, back in 2018, 2019, they said that they were not in agreement with MAPS, nor were they going to include the pedophile community or MAPS in their community, in the LGBT. The concept of minor attracted persons, listen to this, which is perceived by some as part of the attempt to normalize pedophilia. To normalize, I'm going to keep saying it. Legalization is the result of normalization. Some of y'all still didn't put it in the chat. Legalization is the result of normalization. If society can get you and I to buy in on the fact that this is how it's supposed to be because the times have changed, the eras have changed, generations have changed, if they can get us to buy into the lie that this is normal, just like some of y'all even in the church, you were okay standing with God as it pertains to homosexuality until it hit your house. Until your daughter came and said that she was gay or lesbian, until your son came and said that he was transgender. Listen, it doesn't matter who it is. We still love because God still loves. But God's love does not give space for sin. Love does not condone wrong, inerrant, incorrect behavior. So this is an attempt to normalize pedophilia, even though some aren't in agreement with that. This is an umbrella, the article goes on to say, is an umbrella term used by organizations such as Before You, ACT, or the Global Prevention Project, that's what I mentioned a few moments ago, an organization that addresses risky sexual thoughts. Now, I want y'all to listen. Next week, I'm probably gonna have to do a part 2. Listen to the terminology. Listen to the sophistry. Risky sexual thoughts. No, thinking about you as an adult thinking about a child sexually is not risky. It's wrong. It's damnable. It's satanic. But they are endeavoring to use sophistry to normalize you to this abomination. Says risky thoughts, fantasies, and non-contact problematic. It's non-contact, but problematic, however, non-contact. Sexual behavior in an adult, men, hold on. Let me just reread that because I took time to give commentary. So let me go back and reread it so you can understand everything that I'm saying. The concept of minor attracted persons, MAPS, which is perceived by some as part of the attempt to normalize pedophilia, is an umbrella term used by organizations such as Before You Act or the Global Prevention Project, an organization that addresses risky sexual thoughts, fantasies, and non-contact problematic sexual behavior in adult men and women in order to prevent child sexual abuse, as well as some researchers to define a variety of people attracted to minors. Listen to this. MAP includes these categories of pedophilia. This includes nephrophiles. While I'm going through that, let me go ahead and pull this slide up because I have it broken down for you. You can take a picture of this. All right, here it is. All right, again, minor attracted persons is MAP is a widely acknowledged term used in the global sex offender research and sex offender treatment community. MAP is an umbrella term that includes. So again, MAP stands for minor attracted persons, but these are the categories of pedophilia. You have nephrophilia or a nephrophile, an individual attracted to babies and toddlers aged 0 to 4 and 5. How many of you knew this? See, we just want to shout and raise offering. And the devil is allowing us to be distracted by, for the most part, an emotional moment of exercise. And while we are on an emotional high, have no intention of doing anything with what we've heard, if we've heard anything, because most of these churches now aren't giving substance, forget substance. They're not even preaching scripture. They're not even preaching Bible. They're not even preaching. They're emotional, or rather they're motivational speakers. But let me move because my time is moving. Pedophile, an individual attracted to a prepubescent child, ages 6 through 10. Hebiophile, an individual attracted to a pubescent child, ages 11 through 14. And I practiced pronouncing it earlier because I knew I was going to butcher it. Ephiophile, I can't pronounce it. Anyhow, it's right there. All right. And it is an individual attracted to a post-pubescent child, a teen, 15 to 19. And some say 15 to 16. So 15 to 19, I should have flipped these. 15 to 19 is late stage adolescence. But some professionals say the ages for a phebophile, thank you, Holy Ghost, I think I got it. A phebophile is 15 to 16 or 15 to 19. All right. Let me finish this. But I want to encourage you again to go to my website, so you can read and study this for yourself. My assignment tonight was to bring awareness, that there is a community of pedophiles out here. Now, we knew that pedophilia exists. Most people were just familiar with that, with pedophilia. Most of us were only familiar with that category. But there are, as I showed you, 3 others. And actually, there's even a broader scope. But that's for another broadcast. Trying to see what else I want to highlight. Okay, listen to this. AFIB Fact Check, this is the organization that produced this article, was not able to verify the identity of the author of the post and cannot ascertain whether the person truly identified as a pedophile or simply posed as one, in regards to the person that was responsible for bringing exposure to the MAPS flag. On Twitter, one Twitter user and self-identified MAP told AFIB, did y'all hear that? A Twitter user and self-identified MAP, this person identifies themselves as a minor attracted person. And again, even that term, going back to what I said earlier, sophistry, desensitizing us. See, they're switching out the terms, because there was a time that pedophile, we knew exactly what it was, what it meant, but they are endeavoring to normalize so that they can legalize. They have changed the terminology. Did y'all catch that? It's now a self-identified MAP, not a pedophile, an identified MAP. So before long, we're going to, because the church just unfortunately just gets on the bandwagon with stupidity and ignorance. We're going to start change. Well, prophet, now that's a little strong. No, it is strong. However, it's true. Because the church now has jumped on the bandwagon. Well, not now. The church has been on the bandwagon, unfortunately, as it pertains to abortion, when it's actually murder. It's kid killing. But the term abortion was developed to deceive us in thinking that killing, murdering your unborn child was an actual medical procedure. No, that's not a medical procedure. You are committing murder by way of medicine, by way of the medical community. But you are y'all don't like that. And so, see, they are endeavoring to desensitize us so that they can normalize it and then that they can legalize it. One Twitter user and self-identified MAP told AFIB he knew several people that have been using the flag. It became pretty popular on Tumblr. Y'all need to have access to your children, your teenagers' social medias. Initially, when over time it spread through Twitter, David, who uses a pseudonym to protect his identity, told AFIB he used a fake name. Listen to what David said. It's still not by any means a universal accepted part of the MAP community or anything like that. In other words, this pedophile, I'm going to just, you know what, I'm going to say what they are. This pedophile is saying that the flag is not universally accepted by the pedophile community yet. But just as the LGBT flag is known, as soon as you see it, you automatically, immediately identify with its purpose, it won't be long before the same immediate recognition is with this pedophile flag. Now, my time is already gone. So next week, I'll pick it up, and next week, I'm just going to read some highlights from some other articles that I didn't have a chance to get to tonight. All right. Next week, I'm going to give us part 2 of this subject, an agenda to normalize pedophilia. I want to encourage you to sow a seed tonight, because I'm tackling subjects, addressing issues in our world. And I'm not the only one, I know that. But I'm one of the ones that is tackling and addressing that which many in the church won't. And so I ask that you would prayerfully consider sowing a seed tonight. There is much, much, much more that God wants to do, assignments that he has given me as it pertains to CT Johnson Ministry. And it takes your support by way of prayer, intercession, and also finances. So consider sowing a seed tonight into this word, especially if I enlightened you as a parent, enlightened you as a guardian to a reality that you were ignorant of, as was I until this weekend. And I could not withhold this information, because this is Empowerment Monday. It is my job to empower you, to equip you, to give you the tools to strengthen, develop, and to build the capacity of your cerebral self so that you can be effective in whatever God has called you to. So go to the website, ctjohnson.org, and give there securely or via your cell phone by texting CTJM give to 54244. You can give via PayPal. The email address for our PayPal is info@ctjohnson.org. And then you can give via Cash App $CTJ Ministries. All right. So I want to encourage you to sow tonight. Also, real quick before we go, I know this was cerebral, or rather, it was cerebral, but sober is the word that I was endeavoring to pull. But I want to encourage you to go to the website also and take advantage of our fall sale. Everything's on sale. The entire website between 5 to 15% off. There are teaching products. There are teaching series that will empower your thinking and change your life. Listen, I don't know when there'll be another sale as good as this. So take advantage. It ends the 31st of August, so you still have some time, but go to the website. All of the teachings are MP3. So you don't have to wait until I ship a CD or anything. As soon as you purchase it, it will be emailed to you and downloadable immediately. The only thing that we will ship is, of course, the merch, t-shirt, book, or mugs if you purchase those. But as far as the teachings, and those are just a few, we have many, many, many more, and new teachings will be uploaded to the website. So go to ctjohnson.org and purchase these powerful tools for your spiritual enrichment and edification. All right. I love you all. I love you all. Thank you, Sister Sharon. Thank you. I see the comments. Didn't have time. You know, I was on a roll. Sometimes when I get to going, I forget to share the comments. But I thank you all for commenting. I bless you. Have a great, productive rest of the week. All right. And be back with me next week. We're going to close out this teaching, and I'm pretty sure I'll have some additional information to give you on top of the other articles that we didn't get into tonight that we'll get into on next week. But I want to hear your feedback. So comment even after we're off the air, and let me know what you thought about tonight's broadcast. All right, until next week, I love you. Be empowered. I'm Prophet C.T. Johnson, and I trust that you're having an empowering day. I wanted to take a moment to invite you to purchase my brand new book, Empower Your Thinking, Volume 1, Quotes to Shift Consciousness, Provoke Thought, and Increase Understanding. This isn't just another book of inspirational and encouraging quotes. This book will challenge you to think critically and expand your consciousness beyond superficial and cultural comprehension of how you view yourself. Remember, a changed life is the consequence of an empowered mind. So in this book, prepare to transition your consciousness to that of a winner and conqueror to become a person empowered to empower. Go to my website, ctjohnson.org, or go to amazon.com and purchase your copy of my brand new book, Empower Your Thinking, Volume 1, Quotes to Shift Consciousness, Provoke Thought, and Increase Understanding. I promise you, this book will empower your thinking. Go to the website, ctjohnson.org or amazon.com, and purchase your copy today.
Thank you for tuning into Empowerment Monday with me, Prophet C.T. Johnson. Would you prayerfully consider partnering with CT Johnson Ministries International? Enable us to continue to declare truth and empower lives. Go to ctjohnson.org/partnership and sow your best seed today. I also invite you to like and follow the ministry's Facebook page at CT Johnson Ministries, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel, also CT Johnson Ministries. Remember to click the bell to receive notification of live broadcasts and newly uploaded content. For further information about the ministry, products, and the various services we offer, visit the website at ctjohnson.org. Until next time, be empowered.